Chris Thompson, President and CEO, Brand USA. I have been in the destination marketing business for 30 plus years, all in Tallahassee, Florida, all in the state of Florida. First with the state of Florida when it was a government-run operation, when they started a Convention and Visitors Bureau in Tallahassee, Florida. I was the first person hired, and then before I came here, 15 years prior to that, I was with Visit Florida, and then the last 4 years of that, I was the president and CEO. And I'm in my 9th month at Brand USA. As president and CEO, I'm ultimately responsible for everything, but what I know I'm responsible for is creating an environment that everybody could feel creative, empowered, and engaged in. And it's as important for that to happen back in Washington with the staff that we have, as it is for our partners around the world, both our supplier partners in the United States and our travel media partners around the world. The most amazing destination in the world. If you think about what the United States has to offer, what everybody knows about is what they've learned through movies and music and now sports. But it's so much more than that. It's so much more than the icons, of course, which make the U.S. what it is. But we call it beyond the gateways, beyond those states and those cities that everybody arrived through. There's just pick a lifestyle interest, pick any kind of interest. The United States offers that as compelling as anywhere in the world. When we're going into a market, first and foremost, we'll establish representation there through nationals that help us navigate the culture and to help us navigate the mediums. Once we have that in place, we want to create a digital platform, a digital presence, so that we can speak to people through that medium in ways that they want to be spoken to, when they want to be spoken to. And then we'll go in with our brand campaign, mostly through electronic executions and out of home, and layer all that in to create an environment, an umbrella environment, so that whether it's us direct to the consumer or helping our travel trade partners and through the travel media to tell the story and the compelling stories that what make the destination, the United States, what it is. Well, our initial metrics are influencing the intent to visit. So we'll go in with our brand campaign measured on the front end, and then after the campaign on the back end, and how much were we able to move the needle of people's intent to visit. You know, everybody around the world has the world at their fingertips, so when they're trying to decide where they want to go, they literally can go anywhere in the world. Our job is to make sure that the United States is top of mind when they're making those decisions, so that we get our disproportionate share of visitation from around the world. We will be fully deployed in 18 regional markets, which represent 93% of the visitation to the United States. So our focus is to go in and continue the relationships in a market like the UK, which was the first market we were in, and build upon those things that we've been doing now, we will have been doing now for 2 years, and then into the new markets, establishing those relationships and establishing that brand presence so that we can continue to bring new visitation and new spend from that visitation from emerging markets, those that have great potential that we haven't had as much visitation from in the past. Actually, it's a great mix. The core competency of the individuals that have raised their hand and said they want to be part of it, I continue to be amazed by that, because it is an industry-defining opportunity, and there's lots of folks that want to be part of it. But we also realize that we can't do everything out of Washington, that we actually need to engage creative groups, both on the advertising side and through all the marketing channels that make us better at what we're doing. So I would say predominantly the mix, I don't know what the actual mix would turn out to be, but probably half and half. We probably invest in as much as in Washington that we deploy through those resources as we do in market through all the different channels that we try to be active in. We're looking for what we call USA or America enthusiasts. Those are people that have an affinity for travel to the United States, have either already been or otherwise are aspirationally challenged to want to be there. And that's the audience we're trying to touch, because those that have been, it's an easy sell. Come on back, and not only do we have what you've already seen, but beyond the gateways and otherwise, there's amazing opportunities. And then for those that have been what we call brand champions, USA champions, that have never had the opportunity, that's aspirational travel, those are the ones we want to speak to, because they have the best propensity to want to come to the United States. And all we need to do is give them the motivation and the opportunity to do so. I think that the competitive landscape has grown to beyond anything we could have imagined. And actually, as a result of the internet, where it literally puts the world at everybody's fingertips, doesn't matter which destination you're talking to, you can find it, and you can find out a lot about it. So our value proposition is to make sure that everything that is the compelling story of the fabric of what makes the United States is told in rich, compelling ways so that can continue to motivate people to want to come to the United States. And that can be in a mature market like the UK, where you sometimes have to fight the been there, done that mentality. There's lots of things that a lot of Brits have never seen or even know about the United States. And then for those that have never been, I mean, that's the best canvas, because you have such a compelling story to tell them about what they already may know about, or again, stretching their imagination beyond what they had no clue about. I'd say we're as an organization, we're only a year and 2/3 old. So we're moving from a startup first year into Brand USA 2.0 is what we're calling the second year. In the first year, we concentrated on influencing intent to travel. So as we're deploying our consumer campaign in in the three markets, primary markets that we were in, trying to move that needle, and we're proud to say that we were able to move that needle from 12 to 22%. So good, healthy double-digit increases in the awareness that people had of the United States and their propensity to want to travel there. And so it was much related to driving demand, and we figured no matter what audience that we're trying to speak to, whether it's the supplier side or the buyer side, if we can load the funnel with demand, then that's going to help everybody. So that's the thing I think we can hold up to. And the fact that we launched a brand campaign that, in a lot of ways, I think, if you think about the awesome challenge it is to sell the USA brand and what that represents, Discover This Land Like Never Before is a thing that just encapsulates everything that you could ever want to talk about, whether it's the well-known or the lesser-known. And I think that those were the crowning achievements in the first year, and as we move into this 2.0 version, I think it's all amazing, and every bit of the United States is as compelling as the rest of it. And I think that, I mean, you look at just the simple things, like some of the most iconic destinations in the United States are actually national parks, and that's what the United States owns and operates. And so if you just look at those destinations, you could sit there and talk about those, and you could have a lifetime of just traveling to those and not ever hit any one of them twice. And then you look at 50 states, 5 territories in the District of Columbia. I mean, there's not enough time on the camera here to even talk about any of that, inventory any of that, because it would be impossible. So that's the biggest challenge we have, but also the greatest blessing we have is that we promote a destination that is like no other in the world.